Can plants interact with each other? Plants don't have verbal to express what they feel, but plants have their own way to communicate with each other. How? Existing evidence shows that plants can actually communicate even more than one way. How can that happen? Do plants not have a mouth, eyes, and ears? But in fact, they can feel, they can see, know smells, and fragrances, even exchange signals with other plants. If you want to see that signal, try to pay attention to the grass that has just been cut. Don't they give off a distinctive smell? Yes, the smell of freshly cut grass is a signal that shows that they are injured and tells other plants to leave or stay. Plants cannot run like humans and animals. For that, they have their own strategies to stay alive and communicate each other. If you don't believe, here are some things that plants do in communicating, according to observations of environmental ecologist James Cahill from the University of Alberta. Plants can ask for help. Just as tobacco plants emit chemical signals to call caterpillar-eating insects such as large beetles to get rid of hornworm caterpillars that usually eat tobacco leaves. Plants can recognize pests that bother them based on the saliva left by pests. Plants can also eavesdrop. Plants can eavesdrop on the signals of their friends and sometimes cry if they see one of their friends being approached by a hungry insect. Previously, in 2013, there were 48 studies that supported the idea of plants' increased protection after seeing that their friends have been damaged by pests. For example, a tobacco plant that spreads a dangerous signal about the presence of hornworm caterpillars. The signal will be heard by other plants and they protect themselves by cooking less food, so that their leaves become stunted and unattractive to caterpillars. Plants can defend their territory. Plants compete with each other for enough sunlight, jostle for a good position. They form strong roots and retain nutrients from the soil, so that if they are uprooted, they will grow back based on the nutrient reserves they store in the roots. Plants can recognize their siblings. Plants can sense if there is their family growing around them. Plants like to compete and support their family. That's why planting more can motivate other plants to grow better. Examples are rice and wheat. Plants can communicate with animals. Remember Nepenthes? Yes, it can emit chemical signals to attract insects to approach it. After the insect approaches it, Nepenthes will catch it. Plants communicate through odor. Plants communicate through the production of odors called volatile organic compounds. The smell of volatiles through the air, if received by other parts of the same plant, then they will react. An example is the smell of freshly cut grass is a signal that shows that they are injured and tells other plants. In a book entitled The Hidden Life of Trees, What They Feel, How They Communicate, Discoveries from a Secret World, Peter Wolleben explains how amazing these organisms are. For examples, trees have short hair like tips in their roots that join with tiny fungi, allowing them to communicate with other trees. They use these root tips to detect if the neighboring tree is one of the same species or if it is a young tree. Trees are constantly checking what is happening around them. Not only that, trees support and nurture each other. If a nearby tree of the same species is sick, other trees will provide it with sugar and nutrients. Similarly, a mother tree will nurture its young for centuries before finally releasing them independently. Even if the roots of two trees get entangled, they don't hesitate to share all the nutrients. Peter Wolleben has been on duty for 3 decades. The 54-year-old man who is tall, like the trees he guards in the forest in Hummel, the evil mountain region, Western Germany, works more like a scientist. He observed and researched for years the forest under his supervision. Based on his diligence and thoroughness, he came to the conclusion that trees in the forest are social creatures. Wolleben also talks about trees that live in cities. What affects their growth? First, trees in cities are often far apart and consist of various species. Interaction between one tree and another is lost. They also don't have parents to take care of them. Second, street lights disrupt the natural cycle of trees. Trees actually have their own form of sleep at night. Branches sag slightly and the density of water in the trunk and roots increases. Artificial light in cities can confuse trees. Trees are extraordinary things and they live, grow and behave in a very extraordinary way. So appreciate the trees that surround us. Take care of them as best as possible so they can grow well. We really need a stimulus that can bring about a strong collective consciousness to take good care of the trees we have, as it should happen among fellow social beings.